Oh well, hello, here's a quick guide for Dakagata. Mind that while I try to include many things, it's still quite general. Let's start with start. While the first try is free, I will recommend to run Dakagata before you get all capstones and passives. But once you have them, Dakagata is very next step since there's no other way to spend them anyway. So the entrance. Once you get that mission with directions, it should lead you to entrance, but if you are still lost, it's right behind Gatekeeper's booth. Then there, just jump. There are a wall of range of levels from 1 to 10. Mind that on lower levels bosses will have less health and also less abilities. Choose wisely what you can handle. Next, I really recommend builds. It's quite doable with either melee or range. There are just few things you really want. First is self-healing. It's highly recommended to have Cruel Delight Signet or Signet of Thirst. Also, depending on your weapons of choice, you may need healing abilities, protective ones, and weapon of restoration may help too. Other thing that most bosses need is cleanse and interrupt. Well, at least some bosses need interrupt, but most of them need at least one cleanse. You may choose from what you have. All weapons have abilities that do one on another. Gadgets help a lot too. Check Purification Drone and CBCache Hoop for cleans. Also Anti-Personal Cannon or Improvised ACT Instrumentation or Mistress Bashosan for interrupts. There are a few cases that you may really want it to be range, so check Cannon, it has 10 meters range. Once you're inside, you can buy some items that may help. Neither of this is necessary, but if you have luck issues or just want challenge but afraid to fail, you can buy extra life, fall proof, and extra 5 minutes to use before you start. Then death proof and 20-second damage buff to use during fight, and also boss's abilities list to check while you decide if you want in. But mind you can have only one item at a time. So once you paid 15 skill points and 5 ability points to enter, you have 17 minutes to finish. There are 7 different bosses, but you'll meet just 4 of them at a time, plus last one that is all the same. There are passive abilities that can be applied to any boss, like any of them can be healthy or be robust, can purge a curse, meaning some of them can sometimes have more health points, can cleanse your dots, can be immune to defibrillating and exploding, some may purge your buffs and do piercing damage, can place dots on you and do more damage when you are at range. And sometimes it's do this together at one time. Remember to check Echo of Knowledge to check if you need extra cleanse or something else. There are 8 different platform traits that you may encounter, 4 special ones and 4 traits that may be applied to any round platform on the way. Tight Quarters is always the first and it's small. Biggest problem you may meet here is abilities with big area of effect. I recommend to keep close to the edge when you have this. And opposite if boss has Cyclone that can knock you out of platform. Gravity's Mark is always the second that it needs you to kite boss around unless you want to catch some fire. You need to keep your eyes on fire because it moves. So when you run from boss's attacks, you need to run in opposite direction. Shattered Unity is the third. Here you need to hone your jump skills. Boss will teleport periodically to one of paths, while occasionally hit with big attacks that you need to avoid again sometimes. Shattered Twig is fourth, and it's like Shattered Unity but long and without way back. So mind the edges. Now let's look at bosses. Let's start with Kuchisaki Onna, the Ondril. She has special abilities like Econ Wall and Spectral Storm. Beware of boss. A boss are expanding, but Econ Wall starts with her being in center and fades back. And she casts Spectral Storm somewhere nearby, so you need to watch out. It can be behind you. Econ Wall is dangerous because it stuns you and then hits again, then goes back, so without cleansing and some protection you have chance to not survive it if you stay near her unless you are prepared. There are some other abilities you may need on other bosses and they follow common logic, like you don't really want to be hit by something huge, it will hurt. Next in the list is Trustaner Okan, the Ghoul Elder. He's one boss with most dots and debuffs that he will constantly cast at you. Be prepared to cleanse a lot. You can't even dodge for most of it. There's one special ability called Rewind Time that you need to watch for. He first casts it to check health and space he is now, and then at some point he will make interruptible cast to get back to this health and also place on platform he was before. He usually stays on his place while fight, but you will notice different on Shattered Unity, for example. So don't worry, he will never has it on Shattered Weak or Gravity Smack, it will be disaster. Let's look at Sava Savanovich the Vampire, one of my favorite bosses. He may have one of Bloody Abyss or sometimes boss. Blood Threshold is Bloody Ring is central safe area boss. Sanguine Ritual will be cast at you, so you need to place it somewhere and leave as fast as you can. It disappears rather fast, but hits hard. They both interfere a lot with platform traits like Distorted Energy here. Energy casts Protective Shield on boss periodically, so you need to find and touch Energy Sphere to get rid of it. You need to be sure it won't kill you if you decide to rush in. He also have Leeching ability in Invert Hemostasis, which is interruptible and also not really dangerous. Unless there's updated version called Life Drain. You'll see it in Echo of Knowledge. You'll notice it when screen turns red, it hits hard, and you really want to interrupt it ASAP. Here's Feral Tryon, the werewolf. You may remember him from Transylvania, this one isn't friendly now. His personal attacks are simple to avoid and will give you some dots if you fail. He's one of close range bosses. He will follow you everywhere and I'd say let him, so you may get behind his back faster, especially if you have luck. Here you may see Gravity Well, one of general abilities that most bosses may have. It will drag you to center and slow down, the boss will try to hit you with something nice, so be prepared to cleanse and run. It's one of places where I personally like my Contagion Signet. It frees from slowing debuff without using cleanse that I may want to use few seconds later, especially with Ghoul. Now let's look at Vobis and Kubus. He casts lots of fire, just as other two fire bosses that will be next. Here you may see Toxic Spores, one of platform traits that will make whole area toxic for some time with safe circle somewhere. You have several seconds to reach it before you start to get dot stacks that may kill you fast if there are enough of them. They are slow to go away, can be cleansed, so be very fast. Boss abilities that may be in way is Psychic Entrapments, is violet circles that will drag you inside, hit you and stun you if you happen to touch it. May be deadly with Memory of Flames or other intersecting things lying around. Here you also can see health tech abilities that cast health devices at random spots that will target you occasionally, so you hit easy, but there are more of them this time, so it may be a problem at some point. You can't attack them or interfere anyhow, so just pay attention. Now here's the second, the Jin. His favorite are fiery cones, he may have half tech too, and here's Fogged Peach that's shared between him and Kubus and Donnie. It's one of abilities that you may want to keep both close to edge for, unless you like to be trapped in rather inconvenient position, especially with the Wandering Flames around. He also has his personal ability called Enkindle that will make him invincible for a while, and you will leave some fiery circles after you that will stay for a bit, so be sure they won't get in your way later. Now the last boss that may be or may be not in your way today is Sun's Apprentice, the Oni. He also has some shared fire abilities like Fogged Peach and has his own Meteor Shower, where it may knock you from platform. He also has fun ability called Mark of the House. It will be placed on you and then expand with lot of fire. There's some room between circles where you may stay for a bit, but it's dangerous because of meteors and other randomly placed attacks. There's also a platform trait called Debris that occasionally casts several big red circles that will hit you hard with some garbage falling from the sky. They leave not too much space around you, so maybe a problem when there are other areas on the ground. So look what you step into. And here's the last boss that you will meet in the end every run. His platform also called the end, and he will give you some fungi crawling around and trying to get you. It will slow you down and deal some damage, so better to keep a distance. There are fungi on the edge of platform 2, so you better not to step into it. Gatekeeper has not too many abilities, most of them are all kind of circles and some cones. Also his close range boss, and he will try to hit you with his bare hands, so prepare to run a lot. Try not to get into short circuit cone, it will stun you. Try not to get into malfunction circle, it hits hard. Also, Gatekeeper will reflect all damage, so better to instantly stop attack if you aren't able to regenerate fast. He also has ability Fog Process that will make a clone that will disappear for a bit, but before the boss may cast intercepting circles that will hurt. Most fun if he also has interface ability that will give him 2 clones. They all will cast circles and may cast malfunction, all 3 of them at a time. The important thing to not let them to trap in corner, because fungi on the edge will make it hard to escape, like almost impossible for some. Another important ability is Anima Drain. It hits hard, so you may want to interrupt fast, but most important is when there is also Anima Distribution ability. He will heal himself for the amount of Anima he drained from you. So be sure to interrupt it unless you want to fight longer. Last interesting mechanic I want to point out is Plasma. On cast, Gatekeeper will target you with energy ball that will move in your direction. You should avoid to get close to them, it will trigger explosion. They will explode later anyway, so it's good thing to try direct them somewhere on edge. Sometimes Gatekeeper will have electromagnetic force that will allow him to call every plasma ball in field, gather them around and trigger a big explosion. Watch out, when they move towards him, they will still explode when too close for reaching boss. Well, that's obviously not everything one could tell here, but I hope it will help you to survive. Good luck!